Europe marching towards an end to gas-powered cars, or at least that is what the EU says is their ambition, this week unveiling a Green Deal to fight climate change. That deal includes a proposal to stop producing gas vehicles by 2035 and to eventually wean all 27 EU members off fossil fuels. Now, the deal also proposes heavy taxes on all non-renewable energy. The idea is to reduce emissions by 55% in 2030 compared to 1990 levels. EU officials acknowledge the changes could and likely will put jobs at risk, and there is no doubt this will be a tough sell to member states. The spokesperson for the EU Green Deal summed up the sweeping proposals by saying doing nothing on climate change is not an option. Acting now, EU countries can design how we do that green transition. And that spokesperson, Vivian Lunella, joins us now live. It's great to have you with you. The headlines out of this announcement are really quite exciting, it has to be said to anybody who is anxious about the climate crisis. But new taxes on oil and gas, an end to combustion engines. This is very ambitious and begs a very obvious question. Is this realistic?
Hi, and it's a pleasure to be here. Well, indeed, we believe it is realistic. In the European Union, we have set the target that Europe would be the very first continent to be climate neutral by 2050. And in order to get there, we need to have a clear plan. And this is indeed then what we presented this week. It shows us how we will get by 2030 to a situation where we are changing our economy in a way that we bring down the greenhouse gas emissions by 55% compared to 2030. What is the aim there is really to make sure that we have economic growth, but we decouple it from resource use. We do it in a smarter way, driving innovation. And an important part, as you said yourself, is to make sure that it's fair, that it's something that we can afford. And I think to look at that first is that we cannot afford not doing anything or to continue the way as things just are. Because when we look at it, the situation is, we see climate change going up faster and faster. We see air pollution. We lose currently 400,000 people a year in Europe. They die because of air pollution. So these are all the matters that lead us to take these steps this week and put on the table the proposals that indeed they touch upon all the areas of our economy, be transport, be taxation, energy, climate, environment. But we have done our calculations and see that this is something that is achievable.
OK, it's achievable as long as everybody signs up to it. And let's be quite clear. You know, getting 27 member states to sign up to something which is likely to significantly impact jobs for their constituents is going to be tough, isn't it? I mean, look, Germany has already promised to cut its emissions 65% from 1990 levels by 2030. But Germany really an outlier. I do understand that there are a number of countries who've made huge efforts, but even what we would call the old Europe still lagging significantly behind, for example, those targets that Germany has set itself on a national level. And then you get to other countries who simply do not have the same sort of ambitions, nor even the idea that they agree necessarily with all of what you have put out. So this is a really important question. I know you've said it is, you believe it's realistic, but ultimately, can you get those member states to sign up to this?
In fact, they already have. Because in the European Union, we have the climate law. It's an obligation which says we will be climate neutral by 2050 and we will bring down our greenhouse gas emissions by 55% by 2030. That is already law. And that, in fact, is the basis from where we now came with our proposals that show us step by step how to get there. So,
and that's important. Let me just stop you there, because those roadmaps are really important, and I applaud you for that. Because whenever and we'll be doing a lot of this as we move towards the COP meeting in Glasgow in November and then beyond, it's so important that we begin to drill down on the details, not just what the world wants to achieve, but how the world will achieve it. So it's great to have a roadmap. And that roadmap, of course, will reveal what I guess you believe the EU will look like, for example, 20 years from now. So let's discuss that and discuss how you will sell to these individual countries the idea that there is a significant financial burden on governments and citizens here.
Absolutely. The whole aim of it is also that when we look at our economy, we see that the current fossil fuel economy has reached its limits. We need to move to a new model that is based on innovation. And I think by looking at it, one of the basic principles in this roadmap that we put forward this week is around the emission trading system, really putting a price on carbon so that it incentivizes the industry to move to greener options. And we see that this has worked very well over the past years. It's something that is already there. Now we're just bringing down the caps of emissions that are allowed and increasing the price for those that is there. And that's something which it has already proven. It's a proven system. It has worked. It has brought down emissions in a number of economic areas.